Question 1.11 is a polythene piece rubbed with a wool is found to have a negative charge 3 into 10 raised to minus 7. Means a polythene is rubbed with wool. Okay, and the polythene charge is then found to be having negative minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb charge. Okay, first you have to find out the number of electron transfer, and you also have to find out that from where it is transferred, either from wool to polythene or from polythene to wool. Okay, so actually when you rub a polythene with a wool, the electron transfers from wool to polythene. So polythene acquires negative charge and wool acquires positive charge. Okay, so in this case the electrons are transferred from wool to polythene. Now the charge required by polythene is minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 7. Where does this charge come from? This charge comes from the transfer of electrons. Okay, so if I take there are n number of electrons, if I take that n electron transferred from wool to polythene, then Q is equal to n E, where E is the elementary charge of, or that you can say charge of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. We are already having the value of Q, so the number of electron transferred will be equal to Q by E. Just put the value of the charge and the value of E, you will get the number of electrons transferred from wool to polythene. Okay, so this is the first question, that was A. Now there is another part B. The question B says, is there a transfer of mass from wool to polythene? Okay, we have already said that the electrons are transferred from wool to polythene. Now the next question is, do the mass transfers or not? Now as electrons are transferred, electrons are having some mass. The mass is very small, but it is having a small amount of mass. So if electrons are transferring, then mass is also transferred. So if you want to find out how much mass is transferred, okay, then mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. Okay, in part A we had found out the number of electrons. So the total mass transferred from wool to polythene is n into me. Just put the value of n that we had got from A, and put the value of mass of electron, you will get the total mass transferred from wool to polythene. Okay. Now let's move to question number 1.12. Okay, two insulated charged copper sphere A and B have their centers separated by a radius distance of 50 cm. So let's take this is insulated sphere A, this is B. They are separated by a distance of 50 cm. So let's take it 0.5 meter. Distance between them, R is equal to 0.5 meter. Okay, you have to find out the mutual force of electrostatic repulsion if the charge on each of them is 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 7. So I can say that QA equal to QB equal to 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 10 coulomb. Okay, so this is a very simple question. It's just applying Coulomb's formula, that is force acting is equal to K QA QB upon R square. Just put the value of K, that is 9 into 10 raised to 9, QA and QB and R. You will get the force acting between these two spheres. Okay. Now this was part A. Part B. Okay. What is the force of repulsion if each sphere is charged double and the amount in double the above amount and the distance between them is half. Okay, so now what they are doing? The charges, I can say now QA dash equal to QB dash, this is equal to 2 times QA. Okay, the charges for both are double and the distance, this is equal to R by 2. Now again you have to find out the force of repulsion in this case. So if I again apply Coulomb's formula, it will be K QA dash QB dash upon R dash square. Okay, so this will be equal to K 2 times QA 2 times QB. When I take R by 2 square, it becomes R dash square upon 4, because R by 2 square, that is R square by 4. So now it's 2 into 2 into 4. This will be 16 times K QA QB, sorry, it will be R square upon R square. So this will be equal to 16 times F. So whatever answer you will get in A, your second answer will be 16 times that. Okay. Now let's move to 1.13. Question 1.13 is based on question 1.12. The question 1.13 says, let's write 1.13. Okay. Suppose the spheres A and B in exercise 1.2 have identical size. Means we are taking that both the spheres are having identical size. Okay. A third sphere of same size but uncharged is brought in contact with first, then brought in contact with second, and finally removed from both. What is the new force of repulsion between A and B? Okay. So see, I am explaining the question once again. What they are doing, they are considering that both are having same size. Okay. So here this is charge A. Okay. Now let's assume that QA QB equal to Q. I am assuming initial case QA equal to QB equal to Q equal to 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 10 Coulomb. So for simplicity, I am taking charge QA equal to QB equal to Q. Now what they are doing? They are taking third sphere. This is sphere A. This is sphere B. Sphere A is having charge Q. Okay. Now they are taking sphere A and let's take another sphere C. Okay. This is having charge. This was having charge Q. C was having 0 charge. So when two conducting spheres are kept in contact, the charge will distribute. Now both are having identical size, so the charge will distribute equally. The total charge at present is Q in A and 0 in C, so the total charge is Q. Now this will distribute equally, so now the charge in A will be Q by 2 and C will be Q by 2. Okay, this is the first step they are doing. Clear? So now what is the charge of A? Q by 2. Now again they are taking this charge sphere C. B, which was having charge Q. Now they are bringing this charge sphere C here. This was having charge Q by 2. So now what is the total charge? The charge for Q, B is Q, the charge for C is Q by 2. So this will be equal to 3Q by 2. So the total charge in both the sphere is 3Q by 2. Now as they are in contact with each other, the charge will distribute. Now both are having identical size, the charge will distribute equally. So each of the sphere will have charge 3Q by 2 divided by 2. So that is 3Q by 4 and 3Q by 4. Okay. Now you have to find out the same thing, that is electrostatic force in a similar condition but with new charges. So if I take the same case A, now here the charge is Q by 2. B, here the charge is 3q by 4, and the distance between them r is equal to 0.5 meter. So now the new force will be F equal to K, Q1 that is Q by 2, Q2 that is 3Q by 4 upon R square. So it will be 3 by 8 KQ square by R square. In short, I can also say that it will be equal to 3 by 8 times the force acting in the first case in 1.12. Okay. Now let's move to question 1.14. Okay. Now a figure is given in question 1.14. There are two plates. One plate is positively charged, another plate is negatively charged. So from that I can say that the direction of electric field will be from negative to positive to negative. Electric field lines go away from positive and towards negative. So this is the direction of electric field lines. Okay. Now, three charged particles, okay, they are thrown in this uniform electric field. Okay, so the case is here is the first charge. Okay, here is the second charge. Okay, and here is the third charge. Here these are the three charges. You have to find out which particle has the highest charge to mass ratio. So charge to mass ratio, that will be Q by M. You have to find out which particle will have highest ratio of charge to mass. Okay. Now I can say that the ratio of charge to mass is directly proportional to the deflection. How? If I take same forces on two objects, lighter the object, higher will be the deflection in that case. So if the mass is very less, the deflection will be very high. So inversely proportional between mass and deflection. Okay. And second, if I take about charge, if I take two charges and if I place in same electric field, the force acting will be EQ. That means higher the charge, higher the deflection. So charge is directly proportional. So from that, if I take for the ratio, then the ratio Q by M is directly proportional to deflection. So higher the deflection, higher the ratio of charge to mass. From this figure, I can say that the deflection is maximum for third. Okay, so the maximum ratio of charge to mass is for particle 3. Okay. Now let's see question 1.15. Consider a uniform electric field 3 into 10 raised to 3 I. Means the direction of electric field is towards positive x-axis. Let's take this as y-axis, x-axis, and this as z-axis. The direction of electric field is towards x-axis. E is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 3I Newton per Coulomb. What is the flux of this field to the surface of 10 centimeter on a side whose plane is parallel to YZ plane? So if I take any plane parallel to YZ plane, it will be in this way. this I can say plane parallel to y z plane. Okay, y axis, z axis. Okay, so this is the direction of electric field E, and if I take any normal, then it is always perpendicular to the surface. So the area vector is also in this direction A. This is E and this is A. Clear? The value of area, that is equal to 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter. So this will be equal to 0.1 into 0.1 meter square. I have converted it into meter. So it will be 0.01 equal to 10 raised to minus 2 meter square. We got the value of area. The value of electric field is here. You have to find out the electric flux. From here I can say that the angle between E and A, theta, is equal to 0 degree. So the formula for flux is equal to E dot A is equal to E A cos theta, or I can say E A cos 0 degree. So this will be E into A, 3 into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to minus 2. This will be equal to 30. Okay, so this is the flux. Now there are two questions. This is question, this will say part A. In the same question there is part B. Part B asks you what is the flux to the same square if its normal to the plane makes 60 degree with x-axis. Means now in this case, the plane is not parallel to yz. Okay, it is such that the angle it is making with x-axis, that is 60 degree. Now see, electric field is in direction of x-axis and normal to the plane making angle 60. So in this case I will take that theta, that is angle between electric field E and area vector A, will be 60 degree. So in this case flux will be equal to E A cos 60. So E is 3 into 10 raised to 3, area 10 raised to minus 2, and the value of cos 60 is 1 by 2. Okay, so your answer will be equal to 15. Clear? Now let's move to question 1.16. What is the net flux of uniform electric field in exercise 1.15? Means in the previous question, we have to take the given quantities of the 1.15. Through a cube of side 20 centimeter, oriented so that its faces are parallel to the coordinate planes. Okay, so this means that the faces of the cube, they are parallel to all the axes. Okay, means what will happen? The total amount of electric field entering in the cube will be equal to the electric field leaving the cube. Clear? So the net flux will be equal to 0. Clear? Because the amount of field entering the cube is equal to the amount of electric field lines leaving the cube. Hence the flux in this case will be equal to 0. Next, let's go to 1.17. Careful measurement of electric field at the surface of a black box indicates that the net outward flux to the surface is 8 into 10 raised to 3 Newton meter square per coulomb. It's 8 into 10 raised to 3 Newton meter square per coulomb. This is the outward flux that is coming outside from the box. Okay, now again there are two parts. A. What is the net charge inside the box? In first case, you have to find out Q equal to question mark. Okay, now if we use Gauss law, then the total flux coming out of any surface is equal to Q by epsilon 0. So flux is equal to Q by epsilon 0. We are already given the total amount of flux. So to find out the charge, Q is equal to flux into epsilon 0. Just put the value of flux at epsilon 0. The value of epsilon 0 is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. Just put the value of flux at epsilon 0. You will get the value of the charge. Part B says if the net outward flux through the surface of box were 0, means part B, if the flux is equal to 0, could you compute that there are no charges inside the box? Okay, means now they are asking that if the flux from the cube is 0, flux coming out of the cube is 0, then can we say that there are no charges? The answer is no. We cannot say that there are no charges because Gauss law. This means that the flux is summation of total charge enclosed upon epsilon 0. Means the flux can be 0 if the net charge is 0. It does not mean that there are no charges. Just for example, if there are two charges Q1 and Q2 inside the cube, if the value of Q1 is plus 10 coulomb and if the value of Q2 is minus 10 coulomb, then the net charge is 0, so the flux is 0. But that doesn't mean that there were no charges. Okay? So we cannot say that there are no charges in the cube, but we can say that the net charge is 0. Okay? Now let's move to 1.18. Okay, a point charge plus 10 microcoulomb at a distance 5 centimeter above the center of a square. Okay, this is the square given. Its side is 10 centimeter. A charge Q equal to plus 5 coulomb is placed at a distance 5 centimeter. Sorry, it's not plus 5, it's plus 10 coulomb and at a distance of 5 centimeter. You have to find out the magnitude of electric flux through the surface. Okay, electric field lines will be emerging from this point charge. So you have to find out the flux through this surface. Okay. Now, if I consider a complete cube having one of these faces, okay, means there are 6 faces in the cube, and this is one of the faces. Okay, so if the charge enclosed inside the cube is 10, then the total flux coming out of the cube will be equal to Q by epsilon 0. Clear? This is from the whole cube. But if I want to, let's take only one face, means this, then the flux will be equal to flux total divided by 6, because there are 6 faces in the cube and we have to find out only for one surface. Okay, so your answer will be flux total upon 6. First find out the total flux when Q is 10 coulomb and epsilon 0 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. Okay, and then divide by 6 to get the flux passing through this surface. Clear? Okay, now let's move to question 1.19. Okay, a point charge of 2 microcoulomb is at the center of cubic Gaussian surface 9 centimeter on the edge. Okay, so point charge Q is equal to 2 microcoulomb, that is 2 into 10 raised to minus 6 coulomb, and that is kept at a center of cubic Gaussian surface 9 centimeter of edge. Means I am taking a cube. Okay, and here the charge Q is kept. This is having edge 9 centimeter. What is the net electric flux to the surface? Okay, just use simple formula, flux equal to Q by epsilon 0. Put down the value of Q, 2 into 10 raised to minus 6, at epsilon 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. you will get the total flux passing out of this Q. Let's go to next 1.20. A point charge cause electric flux of minus 1 into 10 raised to 3 Newton meter square per coulomb. Minus 1 into 10 raised to 3. Now this is the flux generated due to a point charge through a spherical Gaussian surface of 10 centimeter radius centered on the charge. Means a spherical surface is taken having radius 10 centimeter. Okay, and flux coming out of this is minus 1 into 10 raised to 3 Newton meter square per coulomb. Now again there are two parts. A, here R is equal to 10 centimeter. If the radius of Gaussian surface were double, means now R dash is equal to 2R, then what will be the value of flux? Okay, we know that the formula for flux of any closed surface is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Means it does not depends on size. So whether I take a Gaussian surface of 10 centimeter or 20 centimeter, the flux remains same. Okay, the flux will be remaining same. That is minus 1 into 10 raised to 3 Newton meter square per coulomb. This was A. Now B. What is the value of the point charge? Again we will use Gauss formula. Flux is equal to Q by epsilon 0. That implies charge is equal to flux into epsilon 0. Just put the value of flux and epsilon 0, 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. You will get the value of charge enclosed inside this Gaussian spherical surface. Okay. Now let's move to 1.21. A conducting sphere of radius 10 centimeter has unknown charge. Means there is a sphere whose radius is 10 centimeter and this is having some unknown charge Q. If electric field 20 centimeter from the center of the sphere is 1.5 to 10 raised to 3. Means let's take this 20 centimeter. At this point the electric field is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 Newton per coulomb, and it points radially inward. Means the direction of electric field is radially inward. What is the net charge on the sphere? Okay, so if there is any charge deposited on the sphere or inside the sphere, and if we want to find out the electric field outside the sphere, then the whole charge is considered to be accumulated at the center, and the electric field is the distance for the electric field is calculated from the center. So I will use the formula E equal to K Q by R square, where Q is the charge inside the surface or on the surface, and R is the distance from the center of the sphere to the point P. Okay, so we are having the value of E, K and R, that is 20 centimeter. I will take R dash. This is R dash equal to, so Q will be equal to E into R dash square upon K. Just put the value of electric field, R dash and K. You will get the value of the charge on the surface. Now let's move to 1.22. A uniformly charged conducting sphere of 2.4 meter diameter has a surface charge density of 80 microcoulomb per meter square. Surface charge density sigma, that is equal to 80. It's 80 microcoulomb. So into 10 raised to minus 6 coulomb per meter square. Find the charge. Okay, the radius of the sphere is given 2.4 meter. Clear? Now again there are two parts. A, find the charge on the sphere. Okay. Now the formula for surface charge density. Surface charge density sigma is the ratio of the charge upon area. So this means that the total charge will be equal to sigma into A, when A is the surface area of the sphere. So this will be equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. Just put the value of sigma and r and pi, that is 3.14. You will get the total charge. Okay. Now part B. What is the total electric flux leaving the surface of the sphere? Okay. B. If I take the total charge Q, if I am to find out the total flux, the flux is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Find out the charge Q. We are already found in K. Put that value and epsilon 0. Put the value of epsilon 0. You will get the answer of total flux passing outside the sphere. Okay. Let's move 1 point to 1.23. An infinite line charge produces a field of 9 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. So electric field is equal to 9 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. Infinite line. At a distance of 2 centimeters, so I will take R equal to 2 centimeter. This will be equal to 0.02 meter. You have to find out the linear charge density. Okay, means you have to find out lambda. Okay. Now from the application of Gauss law, the electric field at any distance r through infinite size line charge, continuous line charge, E is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon 0 r. Okay, lambda by 2 pi epsilon 0 r. So lambda is equal to 2 pi epsilon 0 r E. Just put the value of these quantities, you will get the value of lambda. Okay. Next, let's go to 1.24. Two large thin metal plates and parallel are close to each other. Means two large plates are taken. Okay. Let's take दो प्लेट्स ले ली हमने A and B. On the inner faces, the plates have surface charge density of opposite sign. मतलब इधर हम इसका surface charge density sigma लेंगे, then here it will be minus sigma because it is given that both are having opposite sign. Okay, and that is 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 22. Sigma is equal to 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 22. What is E? Now you have to find out electric field at 3 different locations. One in the outer region of first plate, means on this side. Second in the outer region of second plate on this side. And third between the plates here. Okay. Now, what is the direction of electric field? The electric field is away from positive charge and towards negative charge. Okay. Now this is positive charge. So electric field direction, it will be away. This will be E. ओके, और मैं ये प्लेट कंसीडर करूंगा, इसका चार्ज नेगेटिव है, तो तो इसकी वजह से डायरेक्शन टुवर्ड्स जीरो, सो दिस विल बी एट EB। क्लियर? अगर मैं इस साइड में तो पॉजिटिव चार्ज अवे EA, नेगेटिव चार्ज टुवर्ड्स EB, मतलब अगेन दोनों साइड, इस साइड और इस साइड इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड की डायरेक्शन अपोजिट है। बट व्हेन आई कंसीडर इन बिटवीन द प्लेट्स पॉजिटिव चार्ज EA, नेगेटिव चार्ज टुवर्ड्स EB, okay? Now the formula for electric field due to infinite size plane, charge plane, E is equal to, I will write that EA will be equal to EB will be equal to sigma by epsilon 0, okay? Charge electric field कितनी? Sigma by epsilon 0, we have sigma by 2 epsilon 0. So here both are in opposite direction. So on the outer side of first plate will be equal to 0. Similarly on the outward side of another plate will be also equal to 0. तो मैं जब बीच में लूँगा तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड will be equal to EA plus EB. This will be equal to 2 times EA, 2 into sigma by 2 epsilon 0, so this will be sigma by epsilon 0. So between the plates the electric field will be sigma by epsilon 0. Put the value of sigma, that is 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 22, the value of epsilon 0 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12, you will get the value of electric field between the two plates.